This was my first board ever that I got for my birthday when I was about 9 or 10, I think. It's a Bruce Jones twin fin, probably from 1979 or 80, I'd think. Got some foam fins and fiberglass and these bitchin' kind of curved channels. Pretty epic airbrush. I mean, when I first learned to surf, I was riding it at Doheny when I was like this big, but I actually rode it in some contests, like this Wind and Sea event at San Miguel. And I've taken it to lowers. But yeah, it's a super fun board. Super beefy, but it's a pretty epic first board. I ride twin fins a lot nowadays and been putting channels and swallowtails on my boards lately, so maybe it like subconsciously inspired me to make fishes and twin fins and channel bottoms and stuff. That's my first board. This board's probably one of the most sentimental boards. Is the last board that Terry Martin made me. Solid balsa, and we actually shaped it together. This was kind of like a legacy model, but that was the name of the shape, which was kind of based off like a Lance Carson. But I remember like taking Terry out to lunch. We walked to the sushi restaurant in town, and he, like while we were eating lunch, he like took off his hat and pulled out some of his hair because he was going through chemo, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is probably the last time you'll see me with like full head of hair." So it was pretty heavy, but he was big inspiration and shaping for me. And I mean, he shaped a bunch of boards for me, but I'd watch him and design them with him, and he was really kind of instrumental in kind of the roots of shaping. And he's probably hand shaped more boards than anybody. I think it was estimated around 80,000 boards in his lifetime. So this board is kind of a board I always had wanted since I was about 14, because I'd see like Joel Tudor ride them in surf movies and stuff, and I used to try to get my Hobies kind of shaped like them. And then my friend Brendan White was like, "Oh, you want a Model T? Like I can, you know, have Donald make you one." So I put the order in and waited a couple months, and he made like this batch of boards. He made one for Brendan and Tommy Witt and a few of my friends that ride for Donald. And right after he made this one, he actually passed away. So I think this was kind of one of the last batches of boards he shaped. It was still like at the glass shop when he passed away. But it was kind of another bummer of a story. But he was like probably one of the best longboard shapers to exist, I'd say. And he was a really good surfer too, from Hawaii. So these were kind of a board that Joel Tudor and Donald came up with based off the Nueva Nose Rider. Yeah, it's just a good classic log. This board is a board that Malcolm Campbell made me in his backyard. The guy that started the Bonser boards with him and his brother in like 1970, but he shaped me this kind of based off one of the old ones. And this one's 5'4", and it's kind of like a fishy Bonser. I think this model's kind of like the Bumblebee, but and then Peter St. Pierre painted it. Yeah, I'd seen like another Bonser maybe with kind of this fading thing, and then Peter does a lot of space airbrushes like on Taylor Knox boards and different guys over the years. And then I went in and wrote Bonser inside of it. You can't really read it, but B-O-N-Z-E-R. I took it to Morocco and actually got one of the longest barrels of my life on it. This board was, I think the 12th board I ever shaped. I made it in like 2009, it says. But it's kind of like when I really started getting the stoke of shaping and doing it. Yeah, I rode a lot of different waves on this board, beach breaks, points, tubes. It's a pretty tiny little board, I think it's 410 and a half. based off the Simmons theory, and then kind of got dubbed the bar soap after I wrote it. My friend's like, that thing looks like a bar soap. Yeah, when I was riding it. This design's pretty popular around these days, or a lot of, and even in shortboard designs, they kind of have morphed into like wider tails and wider boards. But yeah, so I made this, 7 years ago. Pretty wild shape. It's got full hull entry into like a single with kind of V panels on the rails, into a deep double concave and some hard edges. So I took this one to France last year, took it into Mexico, and in California a lot. It's like a, call this model like the quadratic formula. It's just kind of quad, round tail, a little fuller shortboard. Works in small waves, bigger waves. Kind of one of those boards you can ride in anything. It's got like these little kind of double barrel channels right through the back two fins. Pretty buttery. This one works really good too. It's a funny looking board, but actually works really well in just about everything. I love the rails on it. They're super round and forgiving. This one kind of has the same style bottom contours as the last one, where it's just kind of like two little tubes right through the back fins. Makes it go really fast. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you kind of like try one thing and then you move on to the next, and kind of, it's fun just to feel all the different feelings that a board could have, you know? And, you know, just fin placement or what kind of fins you're putting on there, all affects the ride and makes it interesting, and it kind of like creates new stoke in surfing to like have something new to ride, and they all work. It's just a matter of timing it right, I guess.